A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform. Hi, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Positivity series of Just for Your Ears podcast. Today's episode is very special because today we celebrate International Women's Day, a day that reminds us of the strength, resilience, compassion, and quiet courage that women carry within them every single day. A woman is many things at once. She can be gentle, yet incredibly strong. She can be emotional, yet wise beyond measure. She can carry responsibilities, dreams, disappointments, and hopes all at the same time and still continue to move forward. Sometimes she is a mother, sometimes a daughter, a sister, sometimes a friend, sometimes a leader, and very often she is the silent pillar that holds an entire family or community together. Beyond all these roles, a woman is also an individual with her own dreams, her own identity, and her own journey. So, today, in this episode, let us pause for a few minutes to reflect, appreciate, and celebrate the incredible spirit of women, the women who shaped our lives, the women who inspire us, and the women who continue to change the world in their own unique ways. Now, let us briefly look at how this day came into existence. The idea of International Women's Day was proposed in 1910 by Clara Zetkin, a German activist for women's rights, during the International Socialist Women's Conference held in Copenhagen. She suggested that there should be one day every year to recognize women's rights and achievements across the world, and the idea was supported by women from many countries. What began as a movement advocating equal rights, fair wages, and better working conditions for women gradually grew into global celebration of women's contributions and achievements. But sometimes a question naturally comes to mind. Why do we need one particular day to celebrate women? After all, the women in our lives, our mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, colleagues, influence us every single day. Their care, their strength, their sacrifices, and their silent support are not things that appear just once a year. In truth, respecting and appreciating women should never be limited to a single day on the calendar. But perhaps the reason we have a day like International Women's Day is not because women need appreciation only on this day, but because the world needs a reminder to pause, a reminder to acknowledge these countless contributions women make, many of which quietly go unnoticed, and a reminder to ask ourselves an important question. Are we truly valuing the women around us the way they deserve to be valued every single day? So, this day is not meant to replace everyday appreciation. Instead, it acts like a spotlight, shining a little brighter just for that moment on the strength, resilience, compassion, and courage that women bring into our lives. And sometimes a spotlight is necessary because it helps us see clearly what was always there. When we speak about women today, we are also witnessing a remarkable transformation. Across the world, women are stepping into spaces that were once considered impossible for them. They are leading companies, commanding aircraft, exploring space, running governments, building businesses, and creating innovations that are shaping the future. Yet, even today, much of a woman's strength remains invisible. It is the strength to balance expectations and ambitions, the strength to stand up for herself when the world questions her choices, the strength to rebuild after setbacks and continue moving forward. In fact, the courage and strength of women is not something that began in modern times. It has always been part of our heritage. History reminds us of courageous women like Velu Nachiyar, the queen of Sivaganga in Tamil Nadu. In the 18th century, when her kingdom was taken over by the British East India Company, she refused to surrender to defeat. Instead, she spent years regrouping, forming alliances, and strategically preparing to reclaim her land. With remarkable courage and intelligence, Velu Nachiyar eventually led her forces into battle and defeated the British to regain her kingdom, becoming one of the first Indian queens to fight against colonial rule. Her story reminds us that the courage, resilience, and leadership we admire in women today are not new. They are part of legacy of strength passed down through generations of extraordinary women. And yet, even as women continue to achieve incredible things, there is also a difficult reality that we cannot ignore. Sometimes a woman is still looked at not for her mind, not for her abilities, not for her character, but merely as an object of appearance or charm. Too often, she faces disrespect, harassment, or uncomfortable situations, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. What makes it more troubling is that such behavior does not always come from ignorance alone. It can happen anywhere, among the educated or the uneducated, among people with social status or influence, within families, workplaces, public spaces, or even among people we trust. And that is why silence cannot be the answer. Every woman who witnesses injustice against another woman must remember her voice matters. Across the world, international justice systems and human rights institutions are evolving to recognize and address violence and discrimination against women with greater seriousness and accountability. In India, too, stronger legal frameworks and institutions such as the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act, and the efforts of the National Commission for Women are important steps toward ensuring safety, dignity, and justice for women. Yet, beyond laws and institutions, true change begins when society itself chooses to stand up for what is right. Because in the end, her voice matters. And very often, that voice is not somewhere far away. That voice is you. When you choose to question what is wrong, when you choose to stand beside another woman, when you choose to speak up against what is clearly adharmic, you become the voice that creates change. And that is when Women's Day truly begins to hold its real meaning. As we come to the end of this episode, let us remember something very simple yet very powerful. A woman's strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet patience, sometimes it is resilience in the face of challenges, sometimes it is the courage to begin again. The women around us, our mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, colleagues, and mentors, shape our lives in ways we may not always notice in the moment. So, today, let us pause and appreciate them. Let us respect their dreams, support their journeys, and stand beside them when they need a voice. Because when women rise, families grow stronger, communities become kinder, and society moves forward. On this International Women's Day, let us not just celebrate women, let us value them, listen to them, and stand with them. And when we speak about appreciating women, it is important to remember something. Recognizing women is not only about gifts, flowers, or special treats on that particular day. True appreciation lies in seeing and acknowledging what they quietly do for us every day, the care they give, the responsibilities they carry, the support they extend, and the strength they show even in difficult moments, sometimes all alone. When we notice these things and reciprocate them with genuine gratitude and respect, that becomes the most meaningful way of celebrating the women in our lives. On this International Women's Day, I wish every woman strength in her spirit, clarity in her dreams, courage in her choices, and joy in every step of her journey. This wish is not simply because today happens to be Women's Day. This wish is a reminder, a celebration of the essence of womanhood itself, that grace that nurtures, the strength that preserves, the wisdom that guides, and the courage that rises again and again. So, today and every day, may every woman know her worth, embrace her power, and continue to shine in her own beautiful and unique way. Happy Women's Day to the incredible spirit of womanhood everywhere. Wishing you all, the incredible women out there, strength, dignity, happiness, and endless possibilities. This is Shobha, and you have been listening to the Women's Day special podcast in the Positivity series of Just for Your Ears podcast. Until the next episode, be happy, keep smiling, and keep spreading positivity. Bye.